case number 20FEB2009, name Dawn of War 2. With a focus on fast action RTS gameplay, Dawn of War 2 brings to life the science fiction universe of Warhammer 40,000 like never before. Experience the intimate brutality of battle as you play through your chosen race's epic campaign. Such is the pledge of the developers. In the God Emperor's name, let the trial begin. This next installment in the Dawn of War saga does not continue the original story, but instead brings us a whole new one. For me, that is not really a bad thing, since it breathes freshness into the storytelling and shows the confidence in the writers who were not afraid to expand on the previously not so well-known characters. This time, Bloodravens are facing the ultimate catastrophe as combined attacks of Orcs, Eldar and the appearance of even bigger problem are threatening to wipe out entire planetary sector from which Bloodravens are gathering their recruits and obtain the war gear, which is basically bringing them to the point of extinction if they don't pull this one off. Once again, no spoilers, but as far as 40k stories goes, this one is pretty solid and I enjoyed the banter and learning about the universe, characters and history of Bloodravens through the dialogues. The Inquisition is really pleased. Once again, Relic delivered solid graphics, given they were using SS Engine 2, with great attention to detail that has been a staple for Dawn of War series so far and is loved by fans everywhere. Just don't look too much into the graphical options because there are nearly none. Brutal melee combat and its visceral details are also present and are true to the grim-dark universe of Warhammer 40,000. In addition, we are getting destructible environment, which is awesome, as it not only adds realism but also makes for more tactical decision making as of where to position your troop, or if you just want to run through the wall like any proper smart Spus Marine would do, destroying the cover in the process and engaging in glorious melee combat. Glorious melee combat! Anyway, music and sounds are also top notch. Epic music score sounds crisp and clean, fit the situation they trigger into perfectly, and once again you can feel that this music score was made for real, not just some cheap samples put together by the CEO's younger brother who is a DJ on Twitch that is going to make it big any day now. But well, what else would you expect from Doyle W. Donahue, a composer who worked on Dawn of War 1, Space Hulk Deathwing and Warhammer Battlefield Gothic Armada. Seriously guys, this dude is awesome, check his music out. Voice acting is also perfect, especially I love the voice of Cyrus, that's just pure eargasm. And this is another game where we were lucky and got really good voice acting in a 40k game. The only problem is that the Gabriel Angelos was not voiced by the original actor Paul Dobson, but rather by his brother Brian, who, don't get me wrong, he did an excellent job, but sorry mate, no hate, but you are not Gabriel Angelos. That's just a fact. To make things worse, you can't find any information as of why they changed the voice actors, whether Paul was too busy doing better paid work, or they ran out of budget, or some other heresy. If you know more, feel free to leave a comment, as I would love to know what actually happened. And while at it, how about clicking that subscribe button, huh? How about becoming a chat subscriber versus the virgin viewer? So that was all the good stuff, now for the bad and the ugly. Atmosphere is definitely there, especially at the beginning of the game where you have no idea what is going on, and the ever-present sense of urgency and that beautiful you won but not really feeling that I loved in Dawn of War 1 are back. Problem is, as the game progresses and you see it for what it is, a rancid pile of glorified lictor shit, the atmosphere dissipates into thin air and no amount of great music, graphics or voice acting can bring it back. Where in the Emperor's holy column do I even start with this? Gameplay is atrocious, mostly because there is very little of it. Relic is selling this abysmal load of squiggot vomit as a real-time strategy and a tactical game in one. While I'll give them the real time because there is no pause button, there is no tactics involved, not at all. All you do is point and click your dudes in a direction, they shoot whatever comes near, if they decide to shoot at all, but about that later, and sometimes you have to select a correct unit and use the correct ability to ensure everybody survives and don't forget your rating. I see what they try to do. They try to blend turn-based combat with real-time strategy, or even a MOBA game, as many of the viewers on the stream pointed out, but they ended up with an absolute clusterfuck. The reason why XCOM and old Fallout games have turn-based combat is because you need the time to strategize and sync different abilities for maximal tactical effectiveness. You can't do that shit in real time. Sure, you don't need to do any tactical thinking in this garbage game, just go to the nearest enemy and use the same 3 abilities as always: heal, suppression fire and grenade. That's all you need. But still, to do this in real time, swapping amongst 4 units to be able to use their abilities, knowing that if any of those marines goes down, it will lower your mission rating so much that you are not going to get that extra deployment which can make the game harder later on, that's not the best gameplay you can wish for. The controls, holy chaplain's ballsack, is it clunky to use them. If anything gets into their path, AI just stops. And you find out about that when you are losing fight because one of your squad stayed half a map behind, and by the time you click them and send them back to the rest of the group, someone randomly dies from a critical hit. And all that is in real time, so you don't really have time to babysit everyone and make sure that everybody is together. It's annoying. Another half of the time you can't even see your mouse cursor because it's so small, like Eldari balls when it comes to commitment to the fight, especially in maps with rain. A bottle of Amasex to those of you who can't see the cursor where it is right now. Seriously. Overall, controls boils down to point and click in the general direction of the enemies with occasional use of 3 abilities, which is very boring and frustrating since you were promised a tactical gameplay. And all this is just because you are giving a single person 4 MOBA-like characters with 3 abilities to be used in real time. The reason it works in those games is that you only control 1 person, not bloody 4. That's insane! Very nice mechanic they brought into this game is time progression, meaning you have limited amount of deployment during the day and multiple missions to choose from. That makes it vital to strategize and decide which mission to do and which one to let deteriorate. That's putting pressure on the player, which is a great idea. That once again is diminished by the fact that there are only 12 maps and the missions are always the same: kill a boss or defend a structure. Winning can give you a new piece of gear for your spoof marines or lower the infestation level on the planet, but it gets old very quick. And most of the time even the gear is not good enough to do the mission, so you just walk the same maps, kill the same enemies over and over and over and over and over again. Another new mechanic which completely tanked the whole game is squad management. So instead of nice cool RTS as we had before, now we have 6 squads that you can level up to 20 and distribute points and gear amongst them to make them invincible force to be reckoned with. On the paper. In fact, these guys are tough as one-legged, snot-ridden Gretchen on a windy day, and by the machine spirit are they retarded. Scouts, even with sniper rifles equipped, always run into the front line to be killed by any basic unit since they have no HP even on max level, and venerated Dreadnought, this huge beautiful piece of imperial machinery that is nearly indestructible, gets wrecked into a pile of glorified shredded metal few seconds after engaging in fight because he loses half of his HP just trying to get near the enemy. And to heal him, you have to use different squad member and equip them with repairing tools. So practically half of your squads are out of battle when this happens, which is frustrating as f***. And to finish this rant off, let me present to you Last Stand mode that people play even today, but obviously not in the basic game. In basic game I waited 15 to 30 minutes for a match, which sometimes didn't even happen, so you need to buy the DLC to play with others, and obviously the characters are non-transferable, so don't even bother playing Last Stand in the basic game, because then you will have to start again in the DLC. Anyways, Last Stand is a mode where you choose your hero and with 2 other players you are thrown into a small arena where you fight 20 waves of enemies, leveling up your unit and equipping them with better gear. Same old, and the fact that it has only 20 waves makes this mode not only boring but also pointless. If there was infinitely scaling gear and infinitely scaling waves, so you could try different approaches and different tactics and maybe different gears to see how far you can get, that would make sense. But making this mode only with 20 waves? that doesn't make sense. It feels like this is just a filler to make sure that once you get bored with the boring gameplay, you have something else to do to waste a couple of more hours, so then you don't feel like you have been scammed of money because you only got few hours of gameplay from this garbage. Dear Battle brothers and sisters, after suffering through this abomination of a game for over 20 hours, I proclaim this a heretical in nature and should be avoided by any God Emperor fearing citizen that values their money and time enough to save themselves from hours of frustration and rage. All that Relic Games had to do was take Dawn of War 1, give it better graphics, give it this time progressing system of choose your mission wisely, and they would have another RTS of the year on their hands. Instead, what they produced is a rotten piece of shit that is making me really angry because of all the wasted potential. You can display your agreement or disagreement with my ruling by giving this video a thumbs up or down and adding your own comment below. Let me know what you think, as this is going to piss off so many rabid Dawn of War fans. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to read through all the comments, don't worry guys. For more rulings and to pledge your service to the God Emperor himself, click that subscribe button now and fulfill your duty to the Imperium of Man. I will see you at the next ruling, and don't forget that the Emperor protects.